How you going, bro?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Sorry, just getting the old network getting there. It's a bit slow.
No worries, no worries. Love the background. Perfect
Thank
background.
you. Yeah. Got the jersey up there, and another one over there from a couple of years of footy.
Firstly, thank you so much for taking out the time for joining me on Rugby Talk. So welcome on, brother.
No, thanks for having me. No, I appreciate being here.
So Isaac, it's really an honor. Um, I don't do the episodes as much anymore, so having players come on is really a good thing for me and something I really enjoy doing.
No, I
So
appreciate.
yeah, I really appreciate it. And I know I messaged you about some time after your injury. So could you explain to us how the injury happened and what's your process for recovery?
Yeah, so basically, it was about 8 weeks ago. I was playing for my club team, Marist Albion, and we were on attack. One of my players, he kicked the ball through, so I went to chase through, and as I went to kick it on the ground and keep it going, as I kicked it, one of the other team tried to dive on the ball and pretty much just hit right into the side of my knee as I planted my foot. I just felt two big pops in my knee, and yeah, hit the floor. I knew straight away it was no good.
The way you described it in the
Yeah,
caption now sounds terrible.
yeah. No, it didn't feel very nice.
Pain rating out of 10?
Or I don't think, like, out of 10, it was probably like a 7 or 8. Like, it wasn't the worst pain ever, but like, you know that feeling when you whack your knee like real hard and it's like really sore for like 5 seconds and then goes away. It was like that, but like just that pain didn't go away; it stayed there. So I think like the length of the pain was the worst part, not the actual like severity of it.
So what do you have to do now in terms of recovery?
Yeah, it's pretty grueling. So I got an ice machine. So every maybe two or three, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, I'm icing my knee and doing movements just with a band, like trying to bend my knee and straighten it as much as I can. And then when I'm in the gym with Canterbury, I'm with the physios there, and they've got me through a pretty rigorous rehab schedule. So yeah, they push me pretty hard to get back on top of it.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. All the best with the recovery, brother. And
Thank
then
you.
Isaac, take us back a few years, if you could tell us about where your love for rugby started and your childhood, if you could, brother.
Yeah, well, obviously in New Zealand they start you off pretty young when you're playing footy. So might start off as ripper rugby or touch rugby. So that's where I think the love of the oval ball started. So yeah, I was probably 7, maybe 6, 7 or 8 when I first sort of started getting to touch rugby and ripper rugby, and then you sort of play for that for a couple of years, and then you integrate a bit more contact into it by 8, 9, 10 years old. And from there, I was just playing for, who was it? Christchurch Rugby Football Club. That was where I started off. So I played all my junior years through there in rugby, and then all the way up until high school, where I was at St. Bede's College, and that's when I think my real love of rugby started, was when I was playing first 15. I think that was where it really kicked off, and I had some of my most enjoyable footy, I reckon.
Brilliant, man. And do
Yeah.
you enjoy playing fullback? Like, is that your favorite preferred position?
Yeah, well, to be honest, as long as I'm on the field, I'm happy. But I'd say if I had to choose one, 15's definitely my favourite. I like the time that I have on the ball, and I get to look at a lot of options first and pick which one I think is going to be the best, instead of being on the wing and waiting for something to happen. I can, as fullback, I can get involved and make it happen.
Sure, sure. Who do
Yeah.
you think is the best 15 in the world right now?
It's hard to look past Will Jordan, even though he's been playing on the wing. He's just, yeah, he can turn something out of nothing, that man.
He's brilliant in the A, isn't he?
Sorry, what was that?
Brilliant in the A as well.
Yeah, no, he's got some safe hands.
And I was thinking about, like, when you spoke about while you were growing up, starting out rugby. So it takes me back to a grade 2 game under 8. I was playing in the under 8 B team in a derby match,
Yeah.
and I scored 2 tries, but we still lost the match. And I was a sore loser when I was younger. And like the guys were coming to shake my hand, whatever, but I'll just hit their hands away, so I didn't want to take anybody's hand.
Yeah. No, it's you're very competitive, and everyone that plays footy's got an edge of competitiveness to them. So everyone hates losing.
Like yesterday's match, our center got injured, so I started out as 10, played most of my years at 10. Sometimes I'd play at 9, and then let's say a few years ago, then I made the switch, or I was chosen at fullback, playing fullback or wing. And for the last couple of years, I've only been playing like a 12, then I'll slot into 10 and 13. Like yesterday, I came on at 13, but I felt that we should have won the match yesterday. But it was mostly, I got like the ball once, a touch of the ball once, and it was a scoop up, bring it back to my teammate. And I usually just had to secure the ball and do lots of runs. So that was all that happened yesterday. So some matches I think are, well, every week it's different, isn't it? Like you prepare for that team and that team. You never know how it can go. So how do you guys as playing in the MPC, how do you guys adjust like to play? For example, you're going to play Auckland this week and you play Waikato the next week, where you score that brilliant hat-trick as well. And how do you guys prepare, like, okay, this team, they're going to play mostly with their forwards, this team is going to play really fast with their back line. How do you guys adjust to that?
I think if we set it out like a week, once we've come back after a day off, we usually do a bit of review. So we'll review how the game's gone, some things that we can work on and some things we did well, and then we start to do that preview of that next team and try and understand the main rocks of how that team operates. So we'll go from maybe they like to play a little bit more up front and box kick it compared to other teams that might like to have ball in hand or attack the wider channels. So we just usually it's pretty obvious to tell how a team plays, and you pick that up pretty quickly, and you can add that into how you want to play against them pretty early on in the week.
Okay, great to understand. And I was actually at last year's game, the under 20 championship, when it was here in Cape Town. That's the first time I've ever seen a conversion being reviewed for like another team, and everybody's anxiously waiting. Is it over? Is it not over? It was crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It surprised me that the touchies weren't standing right underneath the post to look at it in the first place. But I mean, main thing is that it got called over, and it's a win was a win. We'll take it.
And we continue standing in the rain like that to finish the match. It was very, very competitive. But I didn't performance from you and then. But I mean, moments like that, these things that you will remember forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was telling my friend, he was playing lock yesterday, and at full time, the scammer passed the ball to him, and he kicked it out, and then they won 27-26. I told him he better his wife.
Good on him. I would have loved it. Fords always love kicking the ball. I don't know why.
I saw a few yesterday kicking the ball,
Yeah.
So, like that experience, obviously, you 19, 20 so playing in the under 20 New Zealand Championship. How did that international experience boost your career?
Oh, it was awesome. I think just the touring aspect of it. So having to learn how to operate on quick turnarounds. Like you're not always going to get 7 days between games. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's less. So I think you learn how to recover quicker. You learn how to review and preview teams a lot quicker, and you get used to traveling around and playing in places that you've never played before. So I think it just adds a little bit more of a normality to being like outside of just your hometown or your home field.
Okay, brilliant. When you speak about you having a day off, whether it was with the New Zealand at 20, whether it's with Canterbury, you guys actually have a day off, or do you still go for a run or something more?
Yeah, it's just it depends on the player. Sometimes like mentally, it is really good to just take a step back and focus on something that that you really enjoy and take your mind off rugby. But at the same time, sometimes it's a good opportunity if you're like a kicker or something, and it's good weather. Maybe go out in the morning and have a couple kicks and just make sure you're mastering your craft.
Definitely. I see you use the rugby bricks tee as well. I have a pink one. I need to sharpen my skills definitely and get back to kicking again because I think my accuracy has always been there, but I think distance is quite a problem. Like my range, I think was maybe 45. Now it's coming down like to 40, close to 40 around there. So that's something I need to work on as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's some people are better at the longer kicks anyway, but sometimes it's not that important to be able to kick super long because if you can kick accurately from around the 22, then that's almost more important.
Definitely. Taking yesterday's game, like our game yesterday, I think it was 18 points missed from the tee yesterday, and that cost us the game. So, for example, me not being available because I wasn't maybe as well prepared enough, where I could have stepped in perhaps and taken over. So that's another thing I need to work on.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I mean, there's always going to be areas in your rugby that are going to take a little bit longer to work on as well. So you're never going to be perfect with everything.
True. And while you were growing up, I think, who was your biggest inspiration? And then who's your current inspiration as a player or even as a person?
Good question. I think as a Kiwi kid growing up playing rugby, it's hard to look past like Dan Carter, especially someone like myself who was a kicker as well. Like you idolise those kind of guys that just they're so good at what they do. I think that was massive for me. Like I'd always be watching him doing his kicks, and then I'd want to be like Dan Carter. I used to try and copy how he kicked the ball, obviously with my right foot instead though. But I'd be out every day at school trying to kick like Dan Carter. So yeah, growing up he was probably my idol. And then at the moment, it's hard because there's so many people that are so good at their craft. Like obviously, like I said, Will Jordan, he's the best in the biz at 15. So yeah, if I can idolise anyone and get close to that kind of play style, then I'll be happy.
Awesome, yeah, he's brilliant, and he has to score every week basically.
Yeah.
Like the All Blacks try record, definitely very, very sweet.
Yeah, he's only a matter of games, I reckon.
So I think Dan Carter was a lot of people's idol, mine as well. I used to always copy sticks, we played matches, sticking to go. And I was honored actually to meet him a few years ago. It was organized by this international agency, some type of agency, and in Cape Town, he had a clinic, and then we were doing drills with us and things like that. So that was awesome.
No, it's so cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool opportunity to meet someone like him.
Definitely. And your goal is obviously to play Super Rugby for the Crusaders.
Yeah.
From Canterbury to the Crusaders. And has there been any talks about that? Have they discussed with you, the Crusaders management?
It's hard to tell. Sometimes sometimes you just gotta play when you can, and I think my main focus at the moment is just getting as healthy as I can first before I worry about what kind of contracts I'm signing. Just making sure I can get back on the field healthy, and then we go from there.
Definitely. And that's like you said, it's very trading. I can only imagine the work you have to put in. Is it with that injury? Is it that you need to learn to walk again as well, and obviously strengthen the knee and strengthen around it? Is it similar to that?
Yeah. So it's it takes a long time just to get back onto your feet. So because I injured, so I tore my ACL, my MCL, and then both my meniscus. So one of them tore off the bone. So they obviously patched all that up, but that meant that after surgery I couldn't walk on it for about 4 weeks. I wasn't allowed to put any weight on it. So I was on crutches for 4 weeks, not allowed to even really touch the ground. And then finally, about 2 weeks ago, I got the green light to start walking on it in a brace and one crutch. And then last week it was all right, get rid of the crutch and start walking on it with the brace. And now I'm fully out of the brace and I'm walking around on it like normal at the moment. So it's awesome.
Awesome, brilliant progress. It must be so relieving. I can't understand how frustrating that was that first month. Also, that had to be very frustrating. But I mean, it looks like you're recovering very, very well. I think you'll definitely be back soon on it. And how do you plan to continue with your recovery? And after your recovery, do you need to do the same rehab process?
Yeah, I mean, the whole process is pretty new to me, so I'm going to be learning on the way as well. But I think it's going to be just getting as much work into my knee as I can, so that I can get it back to a normal knee as soon as I can. And then once it's functioning normally, then I can start putting a bit of pressure on it and starting to run on it and sprint on it and stepping off it and putting the real pressure into it.
Definitely. And what do you think your off season looks like?
Oh, probably more of the same with this. It's pretty much, this is my off season now, so it's just going to be a whole lot of recovery and making sure that I'm just 100% getting into super season or midway through super season next year.
And how does your schedule work, like between Canterbury and your local club? How does it work between the two?
Yeah, so it usually lines up quite nicely. So the club season starts sort of halfway through Super Rugby, and then goes through once Super Rugby finishes. That's pretty much when the finals start for club rugby. So you get about 4 weeks post that. So it's my club just had their semi-final yesterday, and then they got the win, and now they've got the final this weekend coming.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, so it'll be good to support them, even though I'm not on the field. It's good to see my club still doing well.
Of course. And obviously that brings your hunger and your desire to recover more. And obviously brings it out definitely. And I'm sure they'll win the final definitely.
Yeah, fingers crossed. That's the plan.
And Isaac, can you take us through a day in your life while you are playing, or when you are playing? What does a day in your life look like, a typical day?
Before injury or at the moment?
Yeah, before injury, one before injury and one during injury. What do they look like?
So, with Canterbury, we'll say it's like a big training day, like a Thursday. So 2 days before game day, we'll get up, have breakfast, just be 2 or 3 Weet-Bix with some protein yogurt on it, and then clean teeth, get into the car and get down to Rugby Park where our facilities are for Canterbury. Get in and usually have some meetings from there about just solidifying what we want to be nailing for leading into the game. And then if I'm playing, we'll get into training. We'll go through our moves, making sure we're nice and clear and we've put the pressure on ourselves to get it right. And then usually a bit of recovery, get in sauna or ice bath, just making sure that my body's feeling right for the weekend. And then usually just head home and try to take it easy, not wanting to do too much, just make sure that my body is right on that Thursday afternoon, making sure I'm just taking all the stress off myself.
Awesome, man. And what would your hours look like? Like 8 till 4 or what?
Yeah, so it sort of depends on the day. So on a Monday when we've just come back from a game, we usually try keep it to a bit of a shorter day. So get in at maybe 8:30 meetings and a little bit of a clarity in a gym session and stuff, and then we'll be out of there by maybe 2 o'clock. But on bigger days like a Thursday or a big training day, we might be in there at 8 o'clock, and if we've got some other meetings or some other stuff that we've got to attend to, might be in there till 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Just depends on what's required of you.
Okay. That sounds fun. I wish that was my schedule, but I'm a teacher, but I do coach the rugby boys, so they are under 13, and there's a lot of new boys coming in and need to learn and things like that. But we train tomorrow, on Tuesday, when school reopens now after the holiday. And then Wednesday is match day, so hopefully we can get a win this season.
Oh, cool. That'll be good. Good luck to them.
Thanks, man. So a lot of the schools that we play against, they have perhaps on the other side, on the opposition side, they have all the teachers. And then I need to be, so that I'm basically the referee for every week's game.
Oh.
So I get it done, and then I train the evening again. So the fitness, it helps a bit with the fitness.
I bet.
We train for my club now. It's like 5 minutes away, which I've joined now this year. On a Monday evening is usually fitness. That will be like from 7 till 8:30, and then a Tuesday and a Thursday we train. So Tuesday is like contact and all of those drills, and then Thursdays we there captain run.
Yeah,
so that's the way our schedule works. And then you guys are off on a Friday, right? Definitely off.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll do like a captain's run. So we'll do that just like a nice walk through and just really get clear with our moves and stuff. But that's the extent of it, really. Just make sure it's nice and relaxed. Maybe go for a coffee with your position groups and just really connect.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, you have everything straight. And that's like a weekly thing, right? You guys, like for example, the outside backs will all go together. The midfielders will go together. Things like that.
Yeah, pretty much. So that makes sure that we're all aligned and we've all got the same goal.
And obviously, how does it work? Like between, I think if I got it correct, Super Rugby will just about end, and then the NPC, the Bunnings Championship, will start. Am I correct?
Yeah. So it's the Super Rugby will finish, and then from there there'll be some reviews maybe that next week, so they can just cover off any bases that they think that they want to work on for next season or anything like that. Just make sure they're clear at the end of the season, and then the boys will probably get about 2 to 4 weeks off, just depending on how long the break is, and then that's when the pre-season starts and the boys will start assembling for their provincial unions.
Okay, awesome. And any of those boys that comes up from the Super Rugby squad that comes to play for Canterbury, are there any ones that you specifically speak to all the time in order to gain the Super Rugby experience or what they've learned throughout the season?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's we're really lucky with Canterbury. We've got a lot of really class players that have come from all over New Zealand, even from around Blues and Waikato and stuff like that. Like New All Black Brodie McAllister, he's a chief, but he'll come back down even though he's away touring with the ABs at the moment. It's pretty cool to have the level of knowledge and expertise around us. So it's definitely worth having a chat to them and trying to just pick their brains for any kind of gold nuggets they can give.
Awesome, man. And do you see yourself playing for Canterbury and hopefully the Crusaders for the rest of your life since you were a Christchurch boy?
Yeah, I think I've always been a dream of mine to play for Canterbury. I think it's the start of something really massive, and I love NPC. I think it's really connected to the communities as well. Like I think it's really deep rooted with your community and with your hometown as well. So yeah, I'm very grateful and very lucky to be playing for my hometown.
That's brilliant, man. So what I used to do was, Rugby 08.
Yeah.
So I'd make a player and then I'll, make him fly off and I'll put him in the Crusaders squad, thinking that I'm playing with the Crusaders.
Yeah.
It's about the closest that I've come.
Oh, cool.
One year, I just out of the fun, I think it was 2016 if I remember correctly, I applied to University of Waikato for something in education just to see if I'll be accepted. And eventually I was accepted. But because of our currency, like our currency is like terrible compared to the New Zealand dollar. Like if it was 25,000 rand, like for the year, it would have been okay. But it would have been like 250,000, which is obviously insane. I would have gone to New Zealand or Waikato definitely. Even if it was for a couple of years, but I wouldn't have gone there for studies. I would have only gone there for rugby.
Yeah.
But
Fair
without
enough.
telling kids, I think I'm going to study, but I'm actually going to play. I remember it taking me now a couple of years back now. I was submitting one of my last assignments. I think it was in my final year, and it showed that it submitted late, but the system was delayed like by 2 minutes. And my mother was scolding. I told her like the next morning. They told me it's late and I'm going to accept it. And then I just submitted it. Doctor's note with it, and saying I wasn't feeling well. And then they eventually accepted it, but she's saying because you're doing your podcast and you're practicing rugby and all of these things, that's why my assignment isn't done. But I always used to do my assignment on the day. I go to practice, so for example, at assignment due the Wednesday, I go to practice the Tuesday evening. And I would work on that assignment the Wednesday morning until before midnight. I always do it on the day.
No, good on you. It'd be tough work.
Definitely. I think I work well under pressure.
Yes.
So are you obviously you've completed your schooling. Are you aiming for anything else in your educational journey?
Not particularly at the moment. I think just really rugby focused, trying to get as far as I can with my rugby. Obviously that end goal is always going to be that black jersey, so do anything I can to get in there.
Brilliant, man. And after you get the black jersey, I know you will, because you have brilliant talent, and what also benefits you, like we spoke about earlier, the goal kicking. So that's always a different factor. The kicker, for perhaps that's chosen on the day, isn't doing well, or you could be the main kicker. That's definitely going to work in your team. And hopefully, in a few years after the black jersey, you can get a nice contract over in Japan or overseas.
Yeah. That's definitely an option. Yeah.
I spoke my first episode that was during COVID. James Marshall, the assistant coach or one of the backline coaches at Crusaders, he was actually my inspiration. My first episode for the podcast, I had him on, and he was speaking to me. I never knew that he was speaking to me that most of the players that's in Japan, they like have normal jobs and they come in to train and things like that. So I never knew that. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is pretty crazy.
And Isaac, any last words of advice for up and coming players who want to make it perhaps to the NPC Championship, play for the Crusaders? What would your advice be to them?
I think just love what you do. Just make sure that you have fun. Don't put pressure on yourself to make all the big teams, because when you have fun, that's when you play your best rugby. So I know it's cliche because everyone says you want to have fun, but if you really do enjoy what you do, then you're gonna love it regardless of what team you're in.
Definitely. Sometimes we take it too serious and we make a mistake and we so hard on ourselves. But at the end of the day, no matter how we practice, we just have to remember that we're there to enjoy it. I think a lot of times the person forgets about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So how many months of recovery do you still have left, and what's your plans during then? I mean, you're getting a lot of off time in between. So what are you up to these days?
Yeah, so they said for my injury, it's usually about 9 to 12 months before I'm back to playing rugby. But with the rate of recovery that I'm going at the moment, it's looking more like 9 months, which is promising. So I'll take that, but I'm happy to push it out to 10 months just to make sure I'm ready if need be. So it's looking around March will be when I'm hopefully back to playing. But yeah, in the meantime, just trying to keep myself busy. Obviously, I'm coming into Rugby Park every day. I'm still involved with the Canterbury boys. I don't want to distance myself from them. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to stay involved there, even if it's getting into some kind of analysis or helping coach the boys or just learning something new for myself. I think that's going to be the main way to keep myself busy while I'm out.
That's brilliant determination. I mean, you could have been laying in bed for an extra hour, 2 hours, be scrolling, but it shows your dedication and your love for the game. So that's really admirable.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. Anyone who knows me knows that I don't like to just sit still for very long. So I'm always up trying to do something, even if it's just an upper body gym or something like that. I got to do something.
So Isaac Hutchinson, we will end it off there. Thank you so much for taking up the time and joining me on the Rugby Talk, brother. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, mate. Appreciate your time.